So interesting times. Trump's now in. Really interesting show today. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be discussing Trump, obviously, what's happening out there since he's come into power. We're going to be looking at also why Bitcoin's price and what's happening in the market this week. Really interesting times, as you probably know, with Bitcoin. It's absolutely gone bananas. We're going to be looking at why Bitcoin's overtaken, 58,000 companies out there in the market. Also looking at why Bitcoin's now the ninth most precious asset or most valuable asset in the world to date. Also looking at why Bitcoin is growing faster than ever, than a faster adoption than the internet, which is really intriguing. But also looking at why Bitcoin is going to go from $1.5 trillion asset market cap to beat gold's market cap in the long run. But also we're going to be discussing why the ETF, spot ETF inflows for Bitcoin have reached all-time highs this week. So don't go anywhere. Stay to the end and hopefully you enjoy what I'm about to give to you. So welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. So as I said on the opener there, some really interesting things have been happening this week. I mean, obviously we've had Trump coming into power, which, as I said earlier on the opener, love him or loathe him, Trump has done some really interesting things. Obviously, my perception of Trump is irrelevant, really, for this video. But what I'd like to say is when you look at what Trump's actually doing for crypto, he's going to be bringing in more regulation. And let's face it, the industry needs regulation overall. He's also brought in Elon Musk, which I've got to be honest, I thought this was really funny. Elon Musk, I don't know if you've all seen this, but Elon Musk was basically paying for the votes, or a lot of votes. And it now transpires he was paying like $1 million a day to buy votes. Really, really interesting. I mean, $1 million a day. Think about $1 million a day. $1 million a day. I mean, it's just insane, right? I mean, this guy's actually supporting the campaign to the highest level ever. And is it because the guy wants to, one, potentially be on the government board, if you like, and be a part of Congress, which is what's happening. Trump's looking at giving him a position, on the bench. I mean, you couldn't have made this up, right? This is completely crazy. Love or loathe Trump, technology's on the forefront here of his thought pattern and what's going to be happening on the government level. He's looking at crypto. He's now working with Elon Musk. And as I said, Elon Musk is paying $1 million, or was paying $1 million, for the votes per day to try and get Trump in. So obviously Trump's now going to be looking after Elon. Elon's going to be looking after Trump. Elon's into crypto. Dogecoin's now shot up immensely this week, along with other things as well. So let's get into it. I mean, if we look at what's been happening with the Bitcoin price, it's been an interesting ride. Obviously, there's no shadow of a doubt on what was going to happen out there, right? It was all about looking at, Trump had a big reflection, if you like, and the power to basically move crypto to a high level. And let's focus on Bitcoin, for example. It's been a really, really interesting ride. I mean, look, we're up to 58,000 or nearly 59,000 pounds as of today, which is the 8th of November. So again, love him or loathe him, I think crypto is going to literally be pushed by Trump. And, the predictions are, I still strongly have got high conviction within Bitcoin, at least until first quarter, maybe second quarter, to get to $100,000. Okay. So circa 80,000 pounds, 85,000 pounds, depending on the market fluctuations. So it's interesting. There's a lot riding on the back of Bitcoin. There's been some huge political changes, obviously with the elections. Elon Musk, it's huge. There's some, massive news happening out there. And it does make you wonder, what is the future of the USA and the global economies, come January when Trump comes into administration. And it does make you think, what's that going to do to the price of Bitcoin overall? So time will tell, but my conviction is always strong for Bitcoin. For those who watch me, those will know I study the market extensively, and I believe, Bitcoin is going to be going to $1 million by 2030. And there's no shadow of a doubt about that. So, I think it's just interesting to check the price out and see what's happening. And obviously this was based on the last 7 days, but if you go back to looking at the 3-month period, you can see Bitcoin is ready to sort of do its jump. And as Raoul Paul always says, it's the banana zone time is going to start hitting the markets, I think, very, very soon. So Bitcoin, really, really, really still having high conviction. It's still looking amazing. I think, let's all be extremely excited on how and what Trump is going to do, to the whole crypto space overall. I think it's just great. I discussed on the opener as well. We're talking about, how Bitcoin has overtaken 58,000 companies out there. So if you look at what Bitcoin is doing, it's super, super important to look at why are people or why are businesses putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet, right? I said it in my last video. You've got MetaPlanet, you've got MicroStrategy, all putting Bitcoin onto the balance sheet, which is huge, huge news. And what happens, it's like the Warren Buffett phrase or quote. He basically says, it's be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful, right? So the issue is, and it still gets me, right? And there may be people watching this now, a lot of people will only buy into something when they see others or they see the market take up, right? And it's the wrong way to be looking at it. What you should be doing is actually looking at the markets when they're down and buying in them. But FOMO happens, people get excited and they buy in. It's just a natural humanistic approach to how we do things, right? But it's not the right way to do it.
I hope you're enjoying the video so far, but most importantly, please go to our YouTube channel, have a look at the videos, like, share, subscribe, comment on the videos that you're watching. It all helps us grow the channel. And most importantly, don't forget to click on the bell notification. And also, if you are subscribing, you can always change your mind.
So I think when you look at what's happening with the markets, people are buying into Bitcoin now, and looking at businesses, it's looking like more than ever, institutions are going crazy for it, right? They all want a piece of Bitcoin. And let's not forget, there's only 21 million coins available. There'll only ever be 21 million coins available. You've got that scarcity right there. No other asset class is responding like this, And I think now you've got Trump, you've got Elon Musk there, right or wrong, if Trump's going to do wonders for the US economy overall, I couldn't answer that question. I'm sure many people, wouldn't be able to answer that straight away, but give it time. All I know is it's good for crypto. We need that regulation. Once the regulation comes in the USA, the rest of the world will follow. You'll get Europe, you have China, you have Japan, everywhere in the world's going to follow suit, right? So we need that regulatory framework. It's like having the dollar. Everything's pegged to the dollar, right? If we can get that regulatory framework in place, it will help everyone else out internationally. We'll have to follow suit. And it does make you wonder actually what's going to happen with the next 12 months with the Trump administration. But time will tell. Other interesting news as well, which I thought was absolutely insane, if I can just share my screen. And this is to do with basically the spot ETF inflows. If you look at the spot ETF inflows, I mean, this is just insane. Basically, this was published today actually. 1.38 billion inflows, so $1.38 billion of inflows, the largest single day entry since launch. I mean, I think that's phenomenal, right? We've got now the spot ETF is bought in more generally overall than what the gold ETF has done overall as well. So if you look at what gold bought in initially in the ETF, right, it took 15 years to get to where Bitcoin is now. So let that sort of sit and sink in for a minute. It's insane. So the spot ETFs are driving huge amounts of cash inflows and liquidity is coming into the market. And it's pushing, if you look into it, it's pushing into Bitcoin to go to another level. So for those who are on the fence still about Bitcoin, maybe you've tuned into this channel and other YouTube videos and you're still considering Bitcoin, I think it's a really, really good thing to start learning more, whether it's for your business or whether it's for your personal investment plan, to have Bitcoin either on your balance sheet for the business or have it on your own portfolio. I was chatting to a friend of mine today, actually. He contacted me and he was asking about whether to put in into Bitcoin or Solana. So while talking about that, let's have a look at what's been going on with the markets with Solana. I mean, it's just such an interesting and exciting period to be talking about, you know, the uptrends in these coins. Let's have a quick look at Solana. And I love Solana. I always bang the drum about Solana. Solana's cool. I mean, look, we're at £157 today. Let's look at what's happened the last 24 hours. I mean, look at this. Look, we've gone from 140 odd. We're up to 156. I'm a strong believer of Solana, right? We're going to have loads of net inflows happening. Obviously, now you can see it. It's going off. The cork has been popped. You've got all the meme coins that are basically flown into or being hosted and set up and ran on the Solana network. You've got the Fire Dancer update that's been plugged into Solana to give you faster TPS, faster transactions per second, which is huge. So overall, I'm very, very bullish on Solana. It's looking really hot. So for people that aren't looking at Solana yet, do look at it. It's great. Look at Suyu as well. But this video really is about Bitcoin, a little bit of Solana, looking at the prices and see what's actually happening, right? It's cool. It's not going anywhere. You know, we're in the bull run. Things are going to be happening. 2025 is probably going to be one of the most interesting periods we've ever had. You know, we've had this year really interesting periods or events. We've had January. We've got the spot ETFs being launched. We've had the biggest inflows into any spot ETF, like I said a minute ago. Okay, it's huge. This isn't going anywhere. I'm super excited. I'm super bullish. You look at these net inflows, right? It's just crazy. I mean, we're beating gold, like I said. Why is this happening? You know, people are looking at scarcity. People are looking at flight to safety. I had a guy come on recently, last few months, Paul Smith. And if you're watching Paul, big hello to you. Paul's a massive property entrepreneur, lives now in Monaco, put a post out the other day and talked about he's now going to be buying some more Bitcoin. Why? Quite simply, because he saw the asset class rising. He saw the net inflows of the spot ETF, no doubt. You know, there's entrepreneurs and business owners on a global level are buying into Bitcoin. And this is the killer question. You've got to be looking at this. You know, you've got to be doing your research. You've got to understand what's happening with Bitcoin. You've got to be understanding what's happening with the inflows. And also you've got to understand the metrics of when do you cash out. You know, it's all well and good putting money into an asset class. If it's real estate, you know, do you just keep on real estate for 20 years? Most people do, or 15 years or 10 years, but it's not for 2 days. So you're either a day trader or you're looking at putting your money to work for the long term. And for me, and I think for most people with Bitcoin, it's more for, you know, longevity, and it's more about making financial freedom over a course of a longer period. So consider that, but also look at what I'd recommend as well is looking at taking out your money. So have a spreadsheet when you've got your bought in period or your buy in period into any asset class. So if you're looking at Bitcoin, you bought in at XYZ, so you bought in at $15,000, £18,000, and you say, right, I'm going to take some of that out when it hits £25,000, or in our case with Bitcoin, when it hits 60,000 or 70 or 80,000. So always have that when you're looking at your asset classes. Look at when you're looking at ejecting cash and coming out of the market, skimming some money off for the profits. But also look at what's happening within the markets itself. Study the markets and see what's happening. It's always interesting to see. So look, going back to talking about the ninth biggest asset class in the world now. I can get my screen to share. So yeah, have a look at this. I mean, this is just fantastic. Sorry for taking time to get the screen share working, but it went a bit odd. So we were, as in Bitcoin, was actually at the 10th positioning for the top assets by market cap. Okay. We've dropped We've actually got up now to 9th position, which is fantastic news. We're at 1.5 trillion. And we've got silver above us, followed by Saudi Aramco, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, and then gold. So it's good to look at this. Bitcoin is the 9th largest asset class in the world by market cap. Let that sink in. It's interesting. So for those that are not buying into Bitcoin, the question is why and when are you going to look at buying in? So look, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time on this. And most importantly, I hope you got something out of this today. And stay tuned and also watch the other videos that are coming up. But also please like, share, and comment and pass this information on to other people. And I've got some more videos coming up with some really juicy stuff for the near future as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep in touch. See you soon.